None of these Democrats represent legal Americans, American citizens. They do not represent what is right and just in the United States. In fact, they lay the foundation for people to profit off of human suffering and misery.
Exactly. And you talk about where they stand. Right. What have we seen in the last few days? That now you have the Democrats, they stand for and with child traffickers, child slave labor, child molesters. Those people right there.
Those lovely constituents.
That's who they're standing up for. And then the other point is the legal immigrant community, including myself. So I'm running for governor as the candidate of the legal immigrant community, for the legal immigrant community, so they can have the California dream. And when I sit down and talk to them, as I've been doing throughout the campaign, they can't stand all this, because they say we came here properly, we pay our taxes, we have legal businesses, we don't have illegal, street carts that are putting everyone else out of business.
Rosie Martins is originally from Mexico and appreciates the Moscow Mule. Her husband Gary is from Portugal. The Republicans are concerned about the economy and the border.
I want it to be secure. I want it to be something that the people will not be in danger when they cross in their kids and their families, and to know who's crossing too. If you're not following the rules, then you don't have nothing to do in this country.
We have to pay tax, insurance, the inspections, go through all that nightmare bureaucracy.
Hey! Why are you guys supporting illegal immigration? Why are you supporting illegal immigration? Why? Yeah, why? They're breaking the law. Why are you supporting that? If they come here illegally, they're breaking the law. Go back. If they're here illegally, so was I. And I don't want them here. You know why? You know why? Because I don't want my taxpayer money to go to them. So am I. If you're so proud of that flag, then go live over there. But you know what? If you like that flag so much, then go live over there. I don't like that. That's not my country. This is my country. This is my country, not Mexico. Nope, not Mexico. Oh, see, that's why they don't want us here, because you can't control yourself. You bring a bad reputation to us.
We do it the right way. Why should these people who just wander across the border, they see them in the grocery store. I hear the stories the whole time with the EBT cards, free cell phones, the housing vouchers.
The Venezuelan migrants are starting to get deported. This is why I quite feel bad for them, man, because the level of entitlement that these people have had, I have never seen in my entire life this level of entitlement. There's a video right now that I was tagged in, man, that was going viral, of this Venezuelan dude that was talking. He was pretty much bragging about the fact that he came here, he's living for free, and he says it's not my problem, it's not our problem, the fact that y'all bought into the scam and y'all stressed out because y'all gotta pay bills and y'all gotta do all this and y'all gotta work hard. Us, we didn't come here for that, man. We came here to live like we lived in Venezuela, man, where the government's gonna take care of us. And I'm like, first of all, there's no way in hell that back in Venezuela they were living as good as they're living here, right? But the point is that he was walking through New York City streets, bro, bragging about the fact that they give him a little red card, right, with $1,000 a month, right? They're paying for their rent, they're paying for everything pretty much, right? And he's living for free. He was bragging about the fact. The title of the video, he says, 1 year living free in New York. Crazy, bro. But whatever. The point is that the enemy came for this dude, right? And then he came back talking about, I'm gonna sue you, I'm gonna sue New York, I'm gonna sue everybody. You're not gonna be able to mess with me. And I'm like, yo, these people are literally insane, bro. Like, I've never seen this level of entitlement for people who came from another country here. And it's like, give us everything, man. And if you don't, man, sue. Yo, he said he's gonna sue New York, man. Him saying he's gonna sue the state that's feeding him is crazy. That's how crazy these people are, man.
On and on. Those complaints are coming from legal immigrants in California.
In our community development programs, there's resources there in our family resource centers, but we also are going to have a reinstitution of the Angelino card, something that Mayor Garcetti started during COVID, that will actually provide cash assistance to people. Because, you know, you have people who don't want to leave their homes, who are not going to work, and they are in need of cash. You know, I have met with families family members who may needed 2 incomes in order to make the rent. Well, 1 income was lost in a raid when someone was detained, and this woman with her children now is concerned that she might face being evicted and being homeless. And so it's that type of emergency assistance, and we're fortunate that there's a lot of philanthropic partners who have contributed, and many more, I hope, that will join in and contribute.
What?
Let's talk about illegal immigration. Look, I'm an immigrant myself. I came into the U.S. when I was 4 years old. My mom had applied for a visa. She got approved for a work permit to come into the U.S. many years ago to start a new life, right? To look for the American dream for me and my siblings. Back then, immigration was a little bit different. You know, there was no crossing illegally and then get free benefits and handouts from the government. I mean, shoot, we could not get any food stamps. We could not get any Social Security benefits. We couldn't get Medicaid. We couldn't get any of that stuff because back then immigration was a little bit different. You actually had to earn your way to become a citizen, and you had to work to pay your legal fees, pay your lawyer, pay the paperwork, and all that stuff to establish something here in the country. And that is exactly how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to come into this country and be properly vetted. Let me tell you something. The United States of America does not owe anybody anything. And if you come into this country and you act like the country owes you something just because you crossed the border, you're wrong. You can pack up, grab your shit, and go back to your country. These illegal immigrants that are crossing the border, they're being supported by the government, they're getting housing, they're getting food stamps, they're getting free health care. It's a big spit to our face. And I get it, there's a lot of people around the world that really want to flee their country because of all the issues that they have. But again, you have to be properly vetted. And you cannot come into this country entitled to anything. And yes, I get a lot of hate from people that hear me say these things. Oh, well, you're an immigrant too. Yeah, I'm an immigrant that did it the right way. There is a process to everything. And it takes a long time. It takes a while. Okay? Because I came into the U.S. when I was 4 years old. Whenever I graduated from high school, that's when I got my work permit. 4 years later after that, I became a resident. And then 6 years later after that, I became a citizen in America. And yes, I'm all for deporting all the illegal immigrants in this country that are just sucking up the social benefits, that are just sucking up the food stamps, they're sucking up things that most Americans can't even qualify for. They're sucking up on all that. The government makes the American people go through hell just to get a little bit of food stamps, just to try and apply for Medicaid. They want you to go through hell and stay poor to even qualify for any government help. Instead of letting the entire planet migrate to America, maybe we should address the issues that their country are facing. Maybe we should sit down with their leaders and see why are the people of their country fleeing to the United States. And if it's because of danger, because of cartel, because of gangs, you see how El Salvador just cleaned up the entire country. That can happen in every single country, but the leaders of those countries have to be accountable for their actions. And the mainstream media is really trying to put fear into people about mass deportation. But you know what? I truly agree. I agree with mass deportation. And if Donald Trump has to use the military to carry out orders a lot faster, then use the military. If Kamala and Biden wouldn't have broken the border, we wouldn't have this issue. We wouldn't be talking about mass deportation. But you know what? The past 4 years, they've been screwing up a lot. Just shut up and let Donald Trump do his job.
I'm Mayor Basshole. I hate America. I love illegals. I will now give them money. I take it from Whitey and give to them.
Good evening, America. Unless you're watching from California, then maybe not so good. Just kidding. Sort of, it's your favorite president, some say the best ever. And tonight, I've got a few things to say. So grab your popcorn, turn off the fake news, and let's talk about what's really going on. It's going to be good, really good.
Former President Barack Obama has a blunt message for his fellow Democrats. Quote, just toughen up.
I think this is one of the saddest days in modern American history. This is the largest withdrawal and ending of health care in American history. 17 million people in our country, 17 million Americans in our country are going to lose their Medicaid. They're going to lose their ACA insurance. Small business owners are going to have their health care costs skyrocket. And people are going to have their SNAP and WIC cut back. People are going to go hungry. People are going to get sick. On a scale unlike anything we've ever seen.
So let me get this straight. Do you Democrats went from talking so much shit about President Trump, claiming that he was mocking disabled people, to now celebrating what Jasmine Crockett said about Governor Greg Abbott, calling him Hot Wheels because he's in a wheelchair? Y'all are the same people who was all over Elon Musk's nuts. So much so that y'all went and bought all his electric vehicles and shit. And now y'all are blowing them up, shooting up Tesla fucking dealerships. You're keying innocent individuals' Teslas who are just parked at a grocery store or wherever. Y'all are the same motherfuckers who are now saying that Pete Hegseth and other department heads' Signal app conversation put soldiers at risk, and they were leaking classified information. But yet, y'all are the same motherfuckers that support terroristic groups. Y'all stand by Hamas in Palestine. Y'all stand with Taliban. Y'all stand with Tren de Agua not getting fucking deported. Do you understand now why we on the right don't take any of you motherfuckers seriously? It's like y'all are stuck on stupid. And you constantly expose your hate, your violence, and your dumb shit. And I'm glad that I left the Democrat Party under Obama's stupid punk bitch ass. Because ever since I left the Democrat Party ain't stopped fucking themselves. And I'm here for it. I said what the fuck I said.
Stepping out for his first fundraising appearance since the Democrats' 2024 election loss, the former president had some tough love as his party continues to struggle to counter President Trump's agenda.
There's one thing that I am that you'll never be. President of the United States. You see Trump in the audience going, okay, motherfucker.
I was actually at that White House correspondents' dinner where, it's supposed to be a roast of the president. It was so over the top, it was like making everyone uncomfortable.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
They twisted the knife big on Trump. And you could see Trump just getting angrier and angrier and more upset. I was 2 tables away from Trump and I'm looking at him like, this is too much.
Well, it's kind of crazy because that's the kind of guy that if you tell him he can't do something, he's going to just keep trying.
Union address, in no part of your mind or brain can you imagine Donald Trump standing up one day and delivering a State of the Union address?
Well, I can imagine it in a Saturday night skit. I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
He will never be president of the United States.
Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
Now, Donald Trump is not going to become president of the United States.
Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. However respectful of the fact that the people have not voted, he's not going to be president of the United States.
Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States.
Let's be clear. Donald Trump will lose the election.
I have one thing to say, one thing only, and that is that this race is over.
I think Donald Trump will be the nominee and will lose badly.
No one's going to be happier than President Obama when Trump loses. No one, except for me.
I think that Donald Trump's campaign is over.
Like it's a zombie, right? Like it's a Walking Dead. It's not.
There's nowhere for him to go.
And the fact that most people think Donald Trump is going to lose probably means Donald Trump is going to lose.
To me, this race is over.
Politico's latest survey of political insiders agrees, quote, Clinton will crush Trump in November.
Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. That's not going to happen.
He's not going to be president. He is not, Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. take it to the bank.
Okay.
I guarantee it.
All right, all right.
I think if he becomes the president, he'll make it great, because the States is already great.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red capes.
On that note, Tom, pleasure.
Take it
Thank
from
you
me.
very much.
How about that?
Cheers, Tom.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully execute.
that I will faithfully execute
The office of President of the United States.
the office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability,
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
The thing I found most interesting about it, Casey, was there were a couple of lines in there. He said, stop looking for the quick fix. Stop looking for the Messiah. You have great candidates running races right now. Support these candidates. Because he believes that there are voices within the Democratic Party who can step up and lead at this point and into the future.
Well, you know, David, it's interesting you picked up on that, because that also really stuck out to me, especially the use of the word Messiah. I mean, because Obama himself, right, was often treated like that.
We didn't start with much money or many endorsements. Our campaign was not hatched in the halls of Washington. It began in the backyards of Des Moines, in the living rooms of Concord, in the front porches of Charleston. It was built by working men and women who dug into what little savings they had to give $5 and $10 and $20 to the cause. It grew strength from the young people who rejected the myth of their generation's apathy, who left their homes and their families for jobs that offered little pay and less sleep. It drew strength from the not-so-young people who braved the bitter cold and scorching heat to knock on doors of perfect strangers, and from the millions of Americans who volunteered and organized and proved that more than 2 centuries later, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people has not perished from the earth. This is your victory.
Right? In the Democratic Party. And we've increasingly seen that our politics are driven by singular figures more than they're driven by a party, or, you know, people don't trust the parties as much.
So I voted for Barack Obama in 2008. And, you know, at the time I was still serving in the Army, deploying, and, you know, it didn't take me a year to realize that he was a fraud. So I stopped supporting him. I'd start questioning other people about him and realize that we truly only voted for this man because he is a black man. And I just felt really duped, because he is the first person that I voted for that I actually truly believed was the symbol of hope and change. So I'm disenfranchised at that point. 2016, I didn't vote for the same reason, just disenfranchised, not falling for it again. Trump wins, and then I just watched this man and watched the media just try to rip him apart after him being the gold standard of success in America for decades. And here we go with Kamala after 4 years of what to me was clearly a senile old man. And we got Kamala through the most undemocratic process. What an insult to the American people. No debates, no primaries. She's your candidate. Deal with it. And I've never seen somebody with such an impressive resume, but clearly and blatantly, as much as an imbecile as Biden is, a senile old man. And it's pretty incredible. The Democrat Party, how far they've fallen. It's quite the hat trick to still maintain as many supporters in that party that is becoming flaming train wreck. So, casting my early vote for Donald Trump. I'm praying for him. I'm praying for this country. And we'll see what happens. But what an amazing time to be alive. God bless Donald Trump and God bless America. Let's go and vote.
Somebody, anybody, get this message to Barack Obama. Dear Obama, you are done. Finished. Done data. Adios, amigo. We don't care what you have to say. We don't want to hear from you anymore, Barack Obama. You are played out and washed up. We don't believe you're bull crap anymore. Talking about you are disappointed in black people and black men for not supporting Kamala Harris. We don't have to do what you say. Who do you think? Obama, you may be a former president, but you are not our God. We don't have to obey you, Barack Obama. Okay? You have lost your everlasting mind. Talking about you disappointed in us. No, we are disappointed in you. You are a walking disappointment. You are a walking disgrace. You lied and bamboozled. Listen, you lied to the entire black community. You bamboozled the entire black community. You made everybody believe that you were going to make a change. And the only thing that changed is that you went from being broke to really, really rich. Yeah. That's what happened, Barack Obama. Yeah, you got really rich, okay? That's the only thing that you did when you were president was make yourself rich. You didn't do anything for black people. You didn't do anything for America. You did more to divide this country than to unite this country. And you think we have to listen to you? You think you own us? You are not our God, Barack Obama. We don't have to worship you and do what you say. No, it don't work like that. And the fact that you think that Kamala was entitled to the black vote, oh, you a fool. The fact that you think that we had to listen to you, oh, you a fool. We voted for Donald Trump because people like Obama, first of all, a lot of people voted for Donald Trump because the Democratic Party is terrible. You were terrible. Kamala Harris is terrible. You didn't do nothing. She didn't do nothing. Okay? You can't fool us anymore. Adios. Go away. Go play football with Michelle Obama. Go do something. But don't bother us. All right? All right.
The thing I found most interesting about it, Casey, was there were a couple of lines in there. He said, stop looking for the quick fix. Stop looking for the Messiah. You have great candidates running races right now. Support these candidates.
Right. Obama had a hold over the Democratic Party in a way. He was able to bring voters in to the Democratic Party in a way that others have simply not been able to. Is there a world where, well, it's kind of easy for him to say that?
It's a Hail Mary pass, considering that we did vote him in based off of identity politics. And I'm not saying that all is bad, because he did do some things that I didn't necessarily disagree with that Trump absolutely did better than him. But at the same time, I felt that it was incredibly disrespectful because he's making the assumption that we're not educated enough to lead our families, to look at the policies, to understand exactly what's going on with immigration. And we're supposed to overlook everything that they did over the last 3.5 years that was not in our favor. And when I say our, I'm talking about the American people, let alone men, let alone black men. And we're supposed to vote for her because of some misogynistic reason that's made up. And instead, we've learned how to educate ourselves, and now they've sent their Messiah back to rein us in and bring us back into the Democratic plantation. And most men that I've spoken with have said that it's absolutely disrespectful, and we're done with Obama. They took the same blueprint that got Obama elected, and he was a first for us, right? So our grandparents and our parents and things like that wanted to see this happen. But they were largely voting out of ignorance and voluntary ignorance because they only wanted that identity politics in order to push him through into the presidency. But admittedly, where he was charismatic, she isn't. And so we can see through her. She's a chameleon. When they unleashed her and they allowed for her to be able to take reporters' questions and things like that, it showed that she was completely incompetent. And frankly, not only do we feel disrespected, but I'm uncomfortable with Obama standing in front of us trying to scold us and then divert our attention away from the things that's really meaningful, especially for our families. I'm not comfortable with him. I don't want to hear any more messages of hope. I don't want to hear any more messages of joy. I can feel it with my pocketbooks. My friends can feel it with their pocketbooks. And we're ready for him to get out of our way.
There are mothers and fathers who will lie awake after their children fall asleep and wonder how they'll make the mortgage. We know this election is going to be tight because a lot of Americans are still struggling. As a country, we've been through a lot. As a country, we've been through a lot, and people feel like no matter how hard they work, sometimes it feels like they're just treading water. So I get why people are looking to shake things up.
2,000 years later.
¿Y por cuánto tiempo han estado quedándose aquí en el Rojo Hotel?
Desde que yo llegué, de julio.
¿Cuántos meses es eso?
Como 7 meses.
¿Y han tenido que pagar alojamiento?
No, nada, no he pagado nada.
¿Es 100% gratis?
Sí.
¿Y le dan almuerzo, desayuno?
Sí, le dan cosas del niño, personales, nos dan pañales, lo que necesiten ellos.
¿Y ahí en el hotel hacen limpieza de las puertas?
Sí, hacen. Sí, todos los días hacen limpieza, cambian las sábanas, hacen aseo.
¿Todos los días hacen eso?
Sí, todos los días.
¿Han poder conseguir trabajo ustedes?
No.
Yo no. Si ustedes tuvieran un problema de medicina, ¿cómo podrían recibir ayuda con eso?
Bueno, con una tarjeta, la del seguro de Medicare. Y la Metro Plus. Nosotros tenemos la Metro Plus y eso nos abarca el seguro que nosotros necesitamos para los niños y también nosotros nos beneficiamos de eso.
¿Se sintieron apoyados gracias a nuestro presidente Joe Biden?
Bueno, sí, porque si no estamos trabajando ni nada, él es el que nos está ayudando prácticamente.
Or pay their doctor's bills, or save enough for their child's college education. There's new energy to harness, new jobs to be created, new schools to build.
How does it feel that you kicked all the kids out of school tomorrow? How does it feel? Do you feel good? I hope you feel good. I hope you all sleep really well tonight.
Why are you yelling at them?
Because I have a right to. That's why. That's why. Because I'm an aggravated mother. That's why. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Taking over my kids' school.
And threats to meet, alliances to repair. The road ahead will be long. Our climb will be steep. We may not get there in 1 year or even in one term. But America, I have never been more hopeful than I am tonight that we will get there.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
The Biden administration agreed with 85% of what you had in there. What didn't they agree with?
I guess 85% because they didn't, I still haven't spoken to them about it. So, they haven't done anything to act on it. I've had one conversation with an assistant to the president, but no talk with the president, and no other movement. So we're still working though. We're still, like I said, working behind the scenes. We have, hopefully a major announcement to make soon. And, we're gonna go to the private companies and see if they are willing to change some of their practices to move the needle and help, all of us prosper.
How did you view the heat that you took for engaging with the Trump administration?
I just think people didn't understand, exactly where I was coming from. And people are really used to seeing, black people just go on one side, to the Democratic Party. And, you know, we've been doing that for a long time as a people, and we haven't really gained as much as I believe we should. And I believe it's important to engage with both sides, and not just one side, because if the one side you're engaging with doesn't respond, there's nowhere to turn. So I think by engaging with both sides, you put everybody on notice that whoever's going to do the most for the people is who we should roll with, even if it goes against what, you know, the majority of the country wants. The process. You don't vote just to vote. You vote because you're getting something, or your community is getting something. So everybody that's telling you that, man, look at them and say, what are you getting? Because people that just want you to vote and not ask for nothing, people that's in power that want you to vote but don't want you to get anything, or not asking for you to get anything economically, they suspect, straight up. Because a lot of people been in place for a long time and we ain't got shit. That shit gonna end. That shit gonna end. We gonna get what we supposed to get. Period. And anybody asking you not to ask, I wouldn't listen to them. Because that's the process. Every community asks for what they want. And we gonna do the same goddamn thing. Anybody telling you that you gotta vote, that it's your duty, that you have to exercise the right, and that people died for you to vote. For one, people did die, but nobody walked out their house to go die for you to vote. They were killed by probably some racists that don't want to see us get anything. Be skeptical of anybody telling you to vote and not telling you to ask for anything, or to tell you to just vote and not to get anything for your vote. That's not how it works.
But I will always be honest with you about the challenges we face. I will listen to you, especially when we disagree.
Communities is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences. He said to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land.
Somebody has to say it, so let me be crystal clear. Barack Obama is not the president of the United States. He does not have the authority to speak on behalf of our country, and he does not represent our people. And he definitely does not have the right to hold foreign meetings as if he's sitting in the Oval Office. For 8 long years, we watched him put America last. Then his policies continued destroying America under Biden for another 4 years. Biden, a puppet for everything Obama left behind. And now he thinks he can go globe-trotting, sitting at NATO tables, making promises to foreign nations. Excuse me, sir, no. We have one president at a time, and as of right now, that's President Donald J. Trump. If Obama is not smart enough to try to conduct foreign policy without the authority of the White House, he's not just breaking the law, he is violating the trust of every single American citizen who expect the election to mean something. The Hatch Act is clear, the Constitution is clear. And to Obama and everybody else who's trying to operate a shadow presidency, consider President Donald J. Trump's words your warning. You don't get to speak for us, and you don't get to act like you're in charge. America is taking its voice back. We don't need you, we don't need your failed policies, or your backdoor diplomacy. Sit down, stay out, and remember, you had your shot, and you didn't do a good job.
Supported Democrats, overwhelmingly for 50, 60 years. And nothing has changed. So something's got to change.
Also, the things that led people to Donald Trump, the fact that so many working people voted for him, including Black and Hispanic voters, and they're looking for someone to say, how do we build something better?
And let's welcome California gubernatorial candidate Steve Hilton. Just when they cannot top themselves in the audacious idiocy.
Exactly. We're grasping for the words.
This is not apparently city money. It's coming from some
BS. Total BS. First of all, she doesn't know the exact number. I'll give Karen Bass an exact number, $1 billion. That's how much Los Angeles is in deficit under her mismanagement. $1 billion in deficit, but somehow she can find the money for this. They say it's not taxpayer money. Oh, it's non-profits and philanthropy. We all know what that looks like. That's how they've been laundering money to pay for the organizations, the non-profits and philanthropies that have been organizing the riots against all this. They're stirring it all up, and then the reason that she gives, we got to hand out this money because people are frightened to go to work. Why are they frightened? Because she's whipping up fear because of the raids. Why do we have raids? Because she won't cooperate with ICE. Just as Tomhoman says, if they did cooperate, they wouldn't need to do this kind of enforcement operation. If the authorities in California did their job and enforced the law, none of this would be happening.
So how do we follow the money if this is NGO money, which some have suggested it could be, and we don't have the proof yet? Right. And how do you follow this and find it? Because NGO money is taxpayer money when a lot of these NGOs get significant funding. Exactly. Sometimes most of their funding from the American taxpayer.
And by the way, it's all of the, I mean, those people arrested at the pot farm, including some of the weapons that were confiscated. We see the pictures, and you see the bag they were carrying the weapons in. It was from Gavin Newsom's administration, funded by Churla, the non-profit that's been whipping up the fear, Listos California, which is part of their own Department of Emergency Management. So we're paying for all of this. And to your point about when will we know, thankfully, we have some very good people. There's someone, Lauren Powell, everyone should be following on social media, who's really digging into the numbers. We'll get there in the end, just as we did the first time around with the riots.
Do they realize, I say they, all the Democrats, Gavin Newsom, Bass, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the alligator Alcatraz, I saw the bathrooms. They're doing the work for President Trump and Tomhoman. They are telling the American people, these are not individuals who you should be standing up for.
Yes.
They're not, none of these Democrats represent legal Americans, American citizens. They do not represent what is right and just in the United States. In fact, they lay the foundation for people to profit off of human suffering and misery.
Exactly, and you talk about where they stand, right? What have we seen in the last few days? That now you have the Democrats, they stand for and with child traffickers, child slave labor, child molesters. They're those people right there.
Those lovely constituents.
That's who they're standing up for. And then the other point is the legal immigrant community, including myself. So I'm running for governor as the candidate of the legal immigrant community, for the legal immigrant community, so they can have the California dream. And when I sit down and talk to them, as I've been doing throughout the campaign, they can't stand all this, because they say, we came here properly, we pay our taxes, we have legal businesses, we don't have illegal, street carts that are putting everyone else out of business. We have to pay tax, insurance, the inspections, go through all that nightmare bureaucracy. We do it the right way. Why should these people who just wander across the border, they see them in the grocery store. I hear the stories the whole time, with the EBT cards, free cell phones, the housing vouchers, on and on. Those complaints are coming from legal immigrants in California.
Well, look, RICO statutes. California has them. We have federal statutes. You have the owners of this pot farm, big donors to Newsom, to the congressman who showed up, and they've got to follow this money. Churla, who you bring up, this is a left-wing organization. I looked into their background, funded by other left-wing organizations and NGOs. How do you follow the money? Get to this. You've got to get to RICO on this.
Yeah, but mainly funded. I mean, I think it's 76% of the money from California taxpayers. That organization, they have offices in Mexico to help people come to the country illegally.
What?
And we're paying for it. And this insanity has to end. It will when I'm the governor.
Boom. Shakalaka, Steve Hilton.
It is. Boom. Ooh. Bam. Oh. Bop. Bada bop. Boom. Pow.
Oh! But we got to prioritize the current limited resources on the worst first, and that's what we're doing. New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, they all have crime problems. They all have large illegal alien criminals. So we got to send the resources there to deal with that first. As resources come on, we'll spread out. The 1,000 teams become 2,000 teams. The current 58,000 beds become 100,000 beds. So they're going to see a lot more activity in the very near future.
How many people is the administration on pace to deport this year? And is that meeting expectations, either your own or the White House's?
My expectation is they remove everybody they find as quick as possible and find and arrest as many as possible.
But what's the target? Do you have a target metric in mind?
I don't have a target. I mean, Steve Miller has spoken about 3,000 months, which I think is not impossible to do. I think it's a fair number. I think the number can be higher. People need to understand. I read all these media outlets. Well, 3,000 days is ridiculous. That's so inhumane and so racist. You got to understand. If you did the math, we'd have to arrest over 7,000 a day for the rest of this administration, just to remove those that Biden let in.
Meanwhile, we finally have some good news. I'm sure you've been witnessing what has been going on here. The random snatching of people off our streets by so-called ICE agents. A lot of times we really don't know who these masked men are because they don't have any ID. They jump out of plain cars with no license plates, tinted windows. They pull guns and they pull people aside and in many cases detain them. We don't know where they've been taken. They have no access to their families, no access to legal counsel. But today we got a great decision from the court, a temporary restraining order. So this has got to stop. They have to follow the Constitution. They have to have a warrant. They have to go about arrest or detention in a proper manner. And if people are detained, we need to know where they're going. They will have access to their lawyers. They will have access to their families. This is an assault on our democracy, and we needed to stop it. But I think today showed that if we band together and if we fight back peacefully, if we use the means that our democracy provides, and in this instance, the courts, we got a proper decision. Now we all have to hang tough and make sure that this decision stands. But I'm telling you, America, because what started in Los Angeles could be in your city next. So if that's the case, join together, stay united, defend our democracy, defend our Constitution. This is absolutely unacceptable, and we will not stand for it.
Girl, bye. Bang.
The people that are shooting at the cop, throwing the bricks, they should stop the cars immediately and arrest them all.
This is how backwards the mindset is in California.
When it's time to go, you can choose how. You can wait for enforcement,
or you can leave on your terms. The CBP Home app lets you self-deport with dignity, directly, and securely. Don't wait. Decide how it ends.
We didn't need the National Guard. Why on earth? What are they going to do?
Flashback. Making a massive bust. The agency's cargo theft unit arresting 2 members of a South American theft group for possessing stolen cargo. Police say they recovered nearly $4 million worth of stolen property. The stolen goods included tequila, shoes, and clothes. Investigators also say they intercepted a stolen shipment of Bitcoin mining computers worth more than $2 million before it can leave LAX for Hong Kong.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you
We didn't need the National Guard. Why on earth? What are they going to do? We didn't need the National Guard. Why on earth? What are they going to do?
But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Do you believe deploying the military to conduct law enforcement on U.S. soil is legal?
Look, we have to make certain that we protect American cities. If not for President Trump, Los Angeles would be burning right now. We had 6 ICE agents that were totally in fear of their life because local officials, an incompetent mayor, a grossly incompetent governor, refused to do their job.
Is there anything you would not find acceptable for the U.S. military to do on U.S. soil?
Look, President Trump understands what the Constitution is. He understands what the laws are. We have to protect our cities. We have to protect our ICE agents. We have to protect our federal buildings. And Gavin Newsom should maybe get off Twitter and start actually going down to L.A. and protecting his own citizens.
The courts have ruled on the Guard. They will be back under my command.
A few moments later.
Okay, why is Trump back in control of the National Guard, you guys? What the hell is going on? First I lose my pool boy Roberto, and now this? I seriously need a mani-pedi right now. A bottle of wine, cherry ice cream, and a whole season of Will and Grace. Fuck this politics thingy.
What's actually happening is they're buying voters. That's really what's happening. It's like a giant voter fraud scam. They're importing voters. It's easy to understand if you look at basic incentives. The basic incentive here is the more illegals that the Democrats can bring in, the more likely they are to win. So that's what they're going to do. That's what they have been doing, and it worked in California. California's supermajority Dem. And look at all the companies that are leaving California.
Yeah.
I mean, In-N-Out just announced they're leaving.
Yep.
Their headquarters leaving California.
They're moving to Tennessee.
A fourth day of rallies and protests on the streets of Los Angeles.
It was a peaceful rally. What is going on right now is also peaceful.
Here we are expecting rallies later on.
When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
In Los Angeles, there is a new crowd of protesters that has been building.
CNN had it that these were rallies. Now they've become protests. I'm afraid that by tonight they become riots. If we don't have the ability to stand up and stop this violence before it consumes a great city like Los Angeles, then there's no telling where this could spread.
Are hardworking, good people, and they're the backbone of our city, and they should have access to all the things that we have access to. And I just don't think they understand that it's a political pawn. I don't think they understand.
It's a political game.
This is not done for compassion and kindness.
No.
This is just done to ensure that it stays blue.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's essentially a bribery with your tax dollars.
Yes, this is why the Dems will not even deport criminals.
Yeah.
Because every criminal deported is a lost vote.